There are 44 countries in Europe today, according to the United Nations, with almost 750 million people, representing less than 10% of the world's population. And here, we're going to mark the main events in each one's history. Let's start alphabetically with Albania, which was once part of the Roman and Byzantine, and then the Ottoman empires. Here we have their national hero, Skanderbeg, who successfully rebelled against the Ottomans for 25 years. Albania managed to declare independence in 1912. In World War II, they fought against Italy and Germany, which occupied the country. In 1948, Albania became dependent on Soviet aid and gained membership in the communist bloc. They emerged from communist isolation in the 1990s. Nestled in the Pyrenees between France and Spain, Andorra is a land of strategic importance. Despite invasions, Andorra has maintained its independence. Armenia is one of the oldest countries in the world. It faced the Armenian Genocide, a campaign of mass killing conducted against the Armenian subjects of the Ottoman Empire by the Young Turks. Austria had a major role in European history, being the center of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In the 16th and 17th century, I have to mention Leopold I, the Battle of Vienna, and liberation from Ottoman Empire. The War of the Austrian Succession led to the loss of Silesia to Prussia. It rises as a great power in the 18th century. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand helped to trigger World War I. The defeat of the Central Powers in 1918 resulted in the disintegration of Austria-Hungary, and following World War I, Austria became a republic for the first time. Moving to Azerbaijan. Is it in Europe? Due to its location perched on both European and Asian borders, it has an ancient history that dates back to pre-Islamic times, and its culture reflects a mix of European and Asian influences, being historically influenced by Persian and Russian empires. They gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. Belarus faced various invasions and conflicts. It was retaken by Stalin's Russia in 1944 and remained under Soviet control until 1991, when they declared independence. It has been run by authoritarian President Alexander Lukashenko since 1994. In 2000, they signed a treaty with Russia for greater cooperation. Belgium's early history was dominated by the Burgundian and Habsburg dynasties. In the 17th century, Belgium was a part of the Spanish Netherlands, and in the 18th century was annexed by France. After the French Revolution, Belgium became part of the United Kingdom of the Netherlands, but in 1830 they broke away and formed an independent nation. They are a founding member of the European Union. Bosnia and Herzegovina was part of former Yugoslavia, and it is independent since 1992. The breakup of Yugoslavia led to the creation of other several independent Balkan countries like Slovenia and Croatia in 1991, which are now European Union members. Macedonia, which was officially renamed into North Macedonia in 2019, after disputes with Greece over the name Macedonia, which is also a geographic and administrative region of Greece. This is also where Serbia and Montenegro came from in 1992, which was only one country till 2006, but they peacefully split into two independent states. One is Serbia, and other one is Montenegro. Bulgaria developed the Cyrillic alphabet in the 9th century, during the First Bulgarian Empire. In the 14th century, fell under Ottoman rule, which lasted for 5 centuries. They regained independence after the Russo-Turkish War. The country participated in both world wars, siding with the Central Powers in World War I, and later resisting Axis occupation in World War II. In 1944, was occupied by the Soviet Union and became a socialist country, and then transitioning to a democratic government in 1989. Let's take a trip to the beautiful summer island of Cyprus, in the Mediterranean. They faced Greek and Roman influences, followed by the Ottoman conquest in 1571, which started a period of the Ottoman Empire control for about 300 years. In the late 19th century, Cyprus was transferred to British rule until it gained independence in 1960. Its political landscape is now shaped by the Cyprus conflict, a division between the Greek Cypriot South and the Turkish Cypriot North. Czechoslovakia was founded in 1918, by the end of the World War I, and following the collapse of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, uniting Bohemia, Moravia, and Silesia with Slovakia. Czechoslovakia peacefully split in 1993 into two independent nations, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Going to Denmark, it's essential to highlight the Viking Age. In the 11th century, it became a Christian kingdom under King Harald Bluetooth. Denmark became a constitutional monarchy in 1849 and was neutral during both world wars. Estonia was under the control of the Kingdom of Sweden from 16th century until early 18th century. In 1721, was ceded to the Russian Empire, which controlled the country for over 150 years. In 1918, Estonia declared its independence from Russia, but it was quickly occupied by the Soviet Union till 1991, when after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Estonia regained its independence. Finland came under Swedish rule in the 12th century and lasted for about 700 years. In the early 18th century, it was a battleground during the Great Northern War. In 1917, Finland declared its independence from Russia. France had a huge influence on the world, both in the past and today. It evolved through a kingdom and then an empire. The French Revolution and the execution of King Louis XVI marked a turning point, leading to the rise of a republic. During the 19th century, it followed the Napoleonic Wars, which saw the rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte. In the late 19th century, the scramble for Africa began. France's colonial legacy has left a lasting impact on global culture and geopolitics. Georgia has been a crossroads for civilizations, with Ottoman and Iranian domination, and part of the Russian Empire in the 19th century. In the 20th century, Georgia was under Soviet rule, and it regained independence in 1991. German Confederation was formed in 1815 after the Napoleonic Wars. In 1871, under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck, the German Empire was established. This was a key moment in German history. The newly formed German Empire became a major power in Europe and played a major role in World War I and World War II. After World War II, Germany was divided into East Germany, which was a communist state under the Soviet control, and West Germany, a democratic state allied with the West. The fall of the Berlin Wall was the first step towards German reunification. In 1990, the two Germanys were reunited. Today, Germany is a prosperous democracy, a leading member of the European Union and one of the strongest economies in the world. Oh, come on, let's go to the islands. Moving on to Greece. It has a profoundly rich history in ancient civilization. A turning point in Greek history are the Persian Wars, which shaped the classical Greek world and establishing Athens as a dominant power in the region. They were the first ones to create a democracy by electing new representatives. The Golden Age began when they're also credited with the foundations in science and philosophy, with thinkers like Pythagoras, Socrates, Plato, or Aristotle. In the 4th century BC, Philip II of Macedon, and then his son, Alexander the Great, who spent 10 years conquering the Persian Empire, spread Greek culture and influence. In the 1st century BC, Greece came under Roman rule until the fall of the Roman Empire. Greece was ruled by a succession of empires, including the Byzantine Empire and then the Ottoman Empire. They fought for independence from the Ottoman Empire, and it finally achieved in 1821. The Hungarian kingdom was founded in the 10th century. In the 15th century, we have to mention Mátyás Korvin, the last strong Hungarian king. In the 16th century, Hungary was invaded by the Ottoman Empire. Later, it became part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire until 1918, when they gained independence. In 1939 was occupied by Nazi Germany, and then was under the communist rule until it emerged as a democracy in 1989. Iceland was discovered during the Viking Age due to Viking exploration in the 9th century. In the 16th century, came under the rule of the Danish crown. It gained independence from Denmark in 1944. Hope you enjoyed this walk through Europe so far. I'll catch you in the part 2 of this clip, and until then, keep exploring, stay curious, and hit subscribe.